Amy, and good evening to everybody. This is so nice to be here. We're going to talk about a dream that we have in Colombia that is called the Germinator. And let's get started with the video, please. Welcome to the Germinator, a sustainable seed sanctuary nestled in the Colombian Páramo. Páramos are unique ecosystems responsible for producing fresh water for almost 35 million of Colombians. Hi, I'm Charlotte, and I co-lead the Burners Without Borders Colombia chapter. Our mission is to create positive impact through community-driven projects. Together with the Ancestral Foundation, we have joined forces to bring to life the Germinator. We are creating a wind-powered greenhouse facility of 113 square meters, capable of growing 55,000 native plants. And all of it is going to be built with sustainable materials to reduce our ecological footprint.
I'm David, CEO of the Ancestral Foundation. Our organization is dedicated to preserve our rich cultural and environmental heritage. The Germinator aligns perfectly with our vision of sustainable development and ecosystem conservation.
Hola, mi nombre es Gabriel. Yo hago parte de esta comunidad y he vivido aquí toda mi vida. El proyecto del germinador es muy importante debido a que no se trata solamente de sembrar árboles, sino de restaurar y revitalizar nuestro ecosistema y también con ello apoyar a revitalizar o darle fuerzas a nuevas economías locales. Esto es un camino sustentable y una forma de vida que tenemos para convivir en armonía con nuestro territorio.
Hi, I'm Ozzy, a very proud Burning Man volunteer. Being part of the Germinator project is an incredible experience. It's not just about building a greenhouse, it's about to build a community and a sustainable future. Most of our volunteers are here at the heart of our mission, planting seeds and nurturing life for our planet.
Este es un proyecto que honra nuestro patrimonio cultural, protege nuestras comunidades campesinas y nuestros páramos, fuentes de agua para 35 millones de colombianos.
Join us in our mission to cultivate a greener, more sustainable future. Together, we can nurture life and preserve the rich biodiversity of the Colombian Páramo. Cool. Okay, so yeah, these are a few images that we put together for you guys last week, and it's so nice to get to showcase what we've been doing so far, what we want to take this project to, and so let's move on with a little presentation that we put together. All right, so just, to give you a bit of geographical context to this video, we are in Chingasa Park, which is nestled in the eastern Cordillera of the Colombian Andes. We are northeast of Bogota, 2 hours away from Bogota, and it's super high. It's also super cold at night. And what makes it so special are its páramo ecosystems that we discussed very quickly in the videos. The páramos are unique to this part of the world. So you've seen a few images. You can picture vast plains, wetlands that are stretching as far as the eye can see, that act like nature's own water reservoirs. And they're not just picturesque, they're actually essential because they manage the water flow and they provide fresh water downstream to millions of people. Chingasa is not just a natural marvel, it's also a window into the past. And there's lots of archaeological finds that reveal traces of ancient civilizations dating back over 10,000 years. Maybe you have heard of the Muiscas, which are the equivalent, the Colombian equivalent of the Mayas, the Incas in Peru, etc. So it's full of sacred sites like, ponds and rock shelters that were full of ceremonial activities. Chingasa is also crucial when we're talking about biodiversity. It's a haven for unique plant and animal species that are perfectly adapted to the Paramo habitat. You can see this photo here. This is the most iconic plant of the Paramo. It's called the frailejón, and in English, it is the espalicia. And in terms of bird life, we have the Andean condor, which is actually the symbolic animal, the spirit animal for Colombia. Hummingbirds all over the place. The park is teeming with life, and there's over 2,000 plant species, including peat moss that can capture humidity and soak up water like a sponge, actually up to 40 times its weight. So it's a crucial sanctuary for Colombia's wildlife. Moving on. You see beautiful animals here that are part of the Paramo ecosystem, and they are under pressure as well because Chingasa faces significant conservation challenges that I'm going to explain in the next slide. Moving on. The main challenges are climate change, deforestation, and also threats from mining, from agriculture, from livestock grazing, actually. So what is happening this year? And I would even say 2 weeks ago, literally, we had a crazy story that we had to deal with as Bogota inhabitants. We faced water rationing due to absolutely severe drought. The water reservoirs were almost like close to depletion. We were just 17 days away from running dry. So the efforts, to protect, to restore the park's ecosystems are crucial. Just because this Chingasa Park is the one that brings water to about 50 million people. As we say here in the figures from the Humboldt Institute, 70% of the Colombian population depends on the paramos to have access to water. 49% of the world's paramos are in our country, and 45% of these paramos are at high risk of extinction. So this is so important to do whatever we can to reforest and maintain this area intact.
So the rural community in the Paramo is also highly vulnerable to climate change. Many of them have suffered something we call environmental displacement, and that is because of a law from 2018. They are no longer allowed to cultivate their ancestral lands. It's very good that our government protects this type of ecosystems, but unfortunately, the restrictions have been imposed without a proper plan for the high mountain populations. What we see is that the lack of education and sustainable development opportunities force people to abandon their lands, migrating towards areas of high poverty and violence in the cities. So what is our solution to all of this? Well, as you have seen in the video, our wind-powered greenhouse will gather and grow native plants and reforest the Paramo. This will directly benefit the local communities, which will have a sustainable economic future in the mountains. The Germinator is also a symbol of sustainable development. It will be based on sustainable technologies to power its operations. As you can see, we will have a cost-efficient rainwater collection system, wind and solar energy, and dry toilets to preserve our reserve and our environment. All these state-of-the-art technologies could really improve the local community's daily life. Everything I show you is part of a much larger development project. These maps you're seeing shows the entire ancestral reserve, in which we will also have a permaculture project and a green school to educate the next generations. The Germinator will be located on the bottom left part of the reserve, as you see in the presentation.
So this is our budget. It's 32K that we need to make this vision materialize. We've been incredibly lucky to receive help from an amazing Colombian architect. You've seen the design of this greenhouse. This is not your average greenhouse. We're very proud of what it looks like. We want to use only noble, sustainable materials. And to bring everything all the way to the Paramo is, of course, an important cost. Transportation is an issue, but in the great scheme of things, we feel like we don't need actually, millions of dollars to make it happen. So this is exciting because we want to invite everybody to to collaborate and be a part of this vision. In particular, we're starting a campaign to finance the cost of the renewable energy, which includes the wind turbine that is called Archimedes, that is from Holland, and the solar grid. So the objectives are three-pronged. Of course, we're all about reforestation. This is what we need to tackle first. And so this is why the Germinator is going to be growing native seeds, be a seed sanctuary for the Paramos. But we also want to involve the local communities and create economic opportunities for them. We're going to create jobs. We're going to focus on different income generating activities and come up with skilled training opportunities. As David was showing in the map of the entire reserve, there's going to be an area called the Green School where people will come over and receive some knowledge and some tips to turn their daily life into the most sustainable practices possible. We want to involve the community as well in the seed collection and the environmental stewardship, and later on make sure that there's an empowerment of these community members to become active participants in sustainable development initiatives. So what we love about this project is how we're mixing the concept of leave no trace and also radical inclusion, and of course lots of participation from all of the BWB volunteers on site. So this is our timeline from now till summer 2025. This is when things are starting. We are incredibly busy because we are in a few months' time starting the construction. Right now, we're in the process of obtaining the last permits that are missing, procuring materials, we're receiving donations of wood, of glass. We're activating all of our networks to be as nimble and as efficient cost-wise as possible. And we are starting to engage the local community to participate. They're very excited to see something positive happening in their region. Since the law of 2018, it's only been bad news, basically. So we are coming back to create this collaborative dream together. And then, we will get started with the construction. We will begin the seed collection in fall. We will iterate and expand the reforestation efforts, all of this taking us to summer 2025, where hopefully we'll be able to scale up the planting operations with more and more volunteer assistance. And so, this is the campaign that we just started. By the way, today, BWB Colombia is becoming a chapter officially after 2 years in the how can I say, like in the community of BWB. And so we're very excited to push forward this Germinator project. The donations will go specifically to acquire the Archimedes wind turbine and the solar grid. So thank you so much. The dollars go a long way for us. You would think, just like, I don't know, $10, $15 is not worth the trouble. It really is. So thank you so much for your generosity, and let's open the floor for questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Charlotte and David. I might start by asking, a little bit about the inspiration for this project and how you and David partnered, and tell me a little bit about like the origin of the project.
Absolutely. So, it's just a virtuous circle, basically, because we started with our project on the native bee conservation called Be Safe. We had another project working with underprivileged kids called Ikigai Explorers. And we just started to invite the community and expand, like our group of volunteers week by week. And David and Andrea that work in Ancestral volunteered at Be Safe and then started to tell us about their projects. And we realized that we were so aligned in our vision. And with Osvaldo, who co-leads BWB Bogota with me, we had been looking for a project that would really focus on reforestation, which is a big issue in our country. We are the lungs of Latin America. We have a huge part of the Amazon in Colombia. As we've said, almost 50% of the paramos are exclusively in this country, and ecology is still not taken as seriously as it should be, just because poverty remains the main issue and takes all the focus. But we believe these issues need to be tackled simultaneously. And so we decided to create together the Germinator. It's been a year. We've been working hard to prepare the ground, work on the design of the greenhouse, gather all the different supports we could from our network, and we are ready very soon to get started with construction. So this is incredibly exciting.
Nice. I love that, how kind of one project led into the next project, which I think so many times happens. So that's really beautiful. And then we've got a question in the chat from Julia. What key metrics or indicators are used to create informed decisions?
So we have basically two kind of indicators. The first one is the families and the community that we are are taking benefits from our project, and the other one is the number of trees that we are capable to plant in our reserve and also in the terrains that are in the neighborhood of this conservative land.
From Cherub, how will you manage the Germinator after it's built? That's always a great question. When something's built, what's the plan to manage it afterwards?
Yeah, of course, and I think this is the most important phase of the project, because it's the production of all the plants and the maintenance of the germinator. So we have expert advisors that will be all along the way of the construction and the operations, and will suggest us a very precise plan to gather and all the information, and of course to have a proper process to grow all the plants.
I would like to add that, as you've seen, this reserve is a holistic concept. And so the Germinator, after it is built, of course, is going to produce all the native flora that is needed. Oh, that's my daughter. Shh. But this is going also to become an experience, because the idea is to make sure that it's self-sustainable, and that the members of the local community themselves are able to come and cultivate whatever they need in this greenhouse. We also want to invite people from the city to come over and to contribute, spend the day, have like a very pragmatic relationship with the soil, with the earth, get to plant themselves some trees, and then the amazing part of the Paramo is that there's also a river in which we do Wim Hof breath work, and we also have a temazcal up there with a shaman that comes over and guides the session. So that becomes an amazing day where everybody recharges batteries. And later on, we would have also this dream, this vision of bringing all of the kids of the local community to the greenhouse so that they can learn how to preserve their territory. So it's like, in the long run, that spans way after 2025. But this is a Germinator that is here to stay, and hopefully that will inspire others in the region, because right now all the greenhouses are made of plastic. Nobody cares about sustainability. It's about growing only commercial produces. Nobody is doing it with native seeds for the Paramo. So we hope to set a trend here.
Charlotte, and this question could be for either of you, but I just wanted to kind of pull out something you said that I think is that you said that like there's a lot of focus on poverty, and yet poverty and ecosystems are intertwined, but I'm not always sure that's obvious how. So I'm curious, how do you see those two things working together, either in this project or just in general? How do they inform one another?
That's the key question, if I may, Charlotte. Yeah, that's a key question because normally community development has affect and has destroyed main parts of the environment. So the key here is to bring back some green kind or green-based type of development or kind of green businesses that allow the community to live and to thrive without damaging the environment. So this is a key point of what we are doing here, because this new kind of development is a very big solution to thrive in harmony with the environment.
Yeah, and we could also say, you know, the displacement of these people has been worsening their economic status, and so this is very complicated to bring people back. Nobody wants to go back, even though they're quite unhappy in the cities, even though they are confronted to new threats or vices. Drug addiction is a huge issue as well in Colombia. We face so many sad stories about the community leaving and experiencing hardship. So it's such a great message of hope to say, guys, if you come back home, let's create together better conditions for you. Because another big issue is the irony of it is that this is the place where water comes from, but these communities don't have access to clean water themselves. So it's also very important in the reserve. We mentioned very quickly in the presentation that there's also a sort of recyclable, ecological water concept that is going to be gifted to the communities to make their conditions more livable. And we want to foster this return to the land and have many germinators that later on will grow on top of native seeds, will also grow the produces that they need, and everything for free. We are not here to make a profit. We want to invite the people to turn the place into something vibrant and alive on a daily basis.
Well, will you have volunteers and younger interns supporting this effort?
Volunteers, absolutely. This is who we are. This is what we do. In BWB Bogota, right now we are about 50 volunteers, and we go from a project to another, and we go on a Saturday, on a Sunday. We invite friends, so it keeps on growing progressively. Now, in terms of the construction, there are some parts of the project that cannot be done by volunteers. It has to be done by professionals. This is why we have a budget. This is why we need to invest in professional skills in there. However, there are many parts of the project that are super fun and super creative, where we're going to be the ones doing it, you know, hands on deck, and that's also part of the excitement, I guess. So if you're asking because you want to come over to Colombia and come help for a few weeks, yes, you are very welcome, Alan. In turns, we we didn't think about it, but we could talk, you know, for example, visibility on social media, helping with investors. There's you know, always need for extra brain power. So yeah, definitely, why not?
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. I see we're coming up on time here, and I'm going to pass it off to Christopher Breedlove to close us out.
Great. Thanks everybody for calling in. And again, thank you for the speakers for sharing your passion and projects. This is good work. It's hard work, and it's the necessary work that needs to happen in the world. So thanks so much.